widespread claim that Kamala Harris put a ton of black men in jail. Now, first things first, let's be clear about what Kamala Harris's job was when she was a prosecutor back in California. She neither penned or interpreted the law. That, my friends, was left up to policymakers and judges. Her job was to take a criminal case, look at the facts and the circumstances, and determine which sentence to recommend in return for the defendant's guilty plea. Now, her first criminal justice job was actually a homicide prosecutor in Alameda County in California, a state that is under a 3 strikes law. So right there, that's already 2 things that she can't control. She neither writes the law nor interprets it. And the laws in California tied her hand, saying that if a convicted criminal had 2 strikes, she had no choice but to send them into prison. So since we now know that it wasn't VP Kamala Harris literally going in people's houses and arresting them, throwing them into prison, let's talk about what she did do to unpin some of these harsh laws in California. Kamala Harris, being personally against the death penalty, became the district attorney in San Francisco in 2004 and stood on business. So much so that she actually refused to seek the death penalty for a man who was convicted of shooting a police officer. And then in 2005, she did something that actually helped to keep black men out of jail. Because you know, California was still dealing with the remnants of the war on drugs. Yeah, so she started this program called Back on Track that allowed first-time offenders, including both users and dealers, to get a high school diploma through a program instead of doing prison time. After that, she went back to work on that 3 strikes law, attempting to change the whole law by mandating that her office in San Francisco only charge for a 3rd strike felony if the felony was violent or serious, which was huge because those of us from California know that that 3rd felony, regardless of if it was violent or non-violent, usually meant 25 to life. She also had this anti-truancy program because some of y'all was skipping school. And what she did was, instead of putting you in juvie, she got with your parents and tried to figure out why you were missing school. You know what happened? Yeah, there was a 33% increase in school attendance. And of the 25 cases that she did have to prosecute, none of them ended in jail time. I say all that to say this: do some heart searching, because just a little bit of research would have told you that the rumors you've been hearing are not a thing. But somehow too many people are willing to repeat them. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but I'm willing to bet that the majority of the reason you don't want to vote for her is not because of a record that you hadn't studied, but because she is a reminder that the most disrespected demographic in this country be about that life. Now, again, I'm not telling you who to vote for because that would be irresponsible, but I would ask you to think about why you really don't want her in that office.